Hello, friends and subscribers, Prepper Princess. Okay, so we're going to change it up just a little bit this week because last week I had so many comments about the orbs surrounding me in this haunted room. So I thought I would tell the ghost stories of where I live. So I don't usually share personal information. I try to keep it on point, on subject, but I guess I can turn this into a Q&A. So I have two ghost stories of living in this house. The first one was when I was 16. I was in the front bathroom taking a bath. This is before we ever had a shower curtain. I was home alone. It was late at night, and we used to have, instead of carpet, hardwood floors in the hallway. They're the original hardwood floors. They're still there. They're just covered in carpet. So we used to have this roommate named Jim who lived in this room, which is the haunted room, also known as the master bedroom, where he he was a very heavy sort of not the most intelligent man, sort of like doo 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 doo, I'm just a guy type guy, and he was a very heavy set man. I was taking a bath and I had the shampoo in my hair, and I heard some very heavy, very clumsy footsteps, very similar to Jim's footsteps, that came in the door. I heard the front door close, and then I heard the footsteps come all the way to the bathroom, and then the footsteps completely stopped. I began to yell at Jim because he was a strange fellow, and I started yelling at him, telling him to go away, and come to find out that the footsteps completely stopped in front of the door. I opened the door, pissed off, soap still in my hair, a towel around me, and I was getting ready to yell at Jim, and there was nobody there. In that instance, again, I was 16. I got in my car with my robe on and drove to my friend's house because I was very scared. Nothing bad happened. I did go into Jim's room, which was a big no-no, but I went into his room to yell at him, and he wasn't even here. The second one was when I was in my early 20s. You guys know about my getting out of debt, where my mother had me stay at her place until all of my debt was paid off. I was in this room. The bed was under the window over there, sort of by the bathroom door. And I had a ghost tuck me in completely. I mean, completely. I had a feathered duvet, feathered comforter, and I had the feathered comforter on. I was completely cognitive, totally awake, but my eyes were closed. I felt the hand start on my right shoulder and go all the way down to my feet. My heart was racing so fast I could barely breathe. I was too terrified to open my eyes. But I know that there was no one else in the room, and I felt it start at my shoulder. My heart was beating a million miles a minute. And by the time it got down to my foot, it went all the way down my side, down to my foot, I realized what it was doing. It was tucking me in. It continued down my feet and then went around the other side and tucked me all the way in, all the way up to the top, sort of like they were taking the duvet and tucking it in to my body as I was trying to sleep. I was terrified. The door never opened or closed. So if you guys see any orbs flying around me, it does not surprise me one bit. We've always had ghosts in this house. Also, I do believe in ghosts. I do believe that our loved ones are always surrounding us, and I have lost a lot of people in my life that are very close to me. Not only people, but pets as well. As you guys know, I lost Simba about 5 months ago. I did spend $9,000 trying to save her. So anybody who says I didn't try, you're wrong. I tried really, really hard to keep my baby with me. And before she passed away, I was spending, I believe, between $1,400 and $2,400 per month on her medication and vet bills. Because she had a pre-existing condition, I could not get pet insurance, so that was coming out of pocket. I depleted about half of my life savings trying to save her, and I know that a lot of people out there wouldn't do that, but she was my baby. As you also know, I have a new dog named Rocky. He's being a butthead in the other room, chewing on a toy, getting drool everywhere, but he's a good friend of mine, so that's what's going on with that. More questions about other things. So There was a video I did, how to live on $100 per year. People are asking me a lot how that worked out. It lasted between 3 and 4 months. There were too many carbs in the diet, and I gained about 25 pounds and stopped doing it. The weight has not come off since. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and my metabolism is slowing, or because at work I just sit on my butt all day, or if I'm not getting enough exercise. Don't know, but I do know that I have gained quite a bit of weight and it has not come off since the $100 a year challenge. I will never do that again. Another thing, people ask me why I switched from prepping to money saving. I am more than happy to explain that to you. It's for several reasons. When I began doing the prepping videos, I did it for 2 reasons. Number one, I was sick of seeing prepping channels doing gear reviews for gear that I could not afford. Number two, I was sick of, what was number two? Oh, sorry. Number two was for money. I had heard that YouTube was a way to make extra money, and I needed the money for my dog Simba to try and keep her alive. It was depleting not only my monthly take home, but it also depleted my savings. So I needed to either take on a second job or do YouTube. And if I took on a second job, I knew that I would lose time that I had left with Simba by not being home, just trying to keep her alive. So YouTube was the main reason. That was one of the main reasons that I started, was so I could monetize. The reason that I switched from prepping to money saving is several reasons. I came to find that with prepping videos, I was spending about 2 to 3 hours of my day deleting negative comments from people who were telling me I was going to die, how I didn't know what I was talking about, how, there were rape threats in there, and then people just saying, take your shirt off and stuff like that I didn't think they were learning anything from the material that I was providing. I was really trying to make it so that people could understand that prepping is not expensive, it's not difficult, it's simple, and it's a lot easier than people think. And unfortunately, I was getting a lot of people who did not take that to heart, and I don't think that they were learning from my channel. So I started moving slowly over to money saving, which has had a huge increase in not only the amount of subscribers, but the positive comments that I get. It's now very, very rare that I get a troll on my channel. And, maybe I'll spend 5-10 minutes a day deleting negative comments as opposed to 2 to 3 hours per day. So it's making my life a lot easier. It has also increased my income on YouTube because of the amount of subscribers. And ironically, when I was doing the prepping videos, it was approximately 60% men and 40% women. Now with the money saving, it is 82% women and 18% men that watch my channel. So it does give me a little bit more of a chance to be less tough, be a little bit more girly, and just sort of present myself in a way that is something close to my heart. Money saving, I believe, is also prepping for the future, prepping for your financial future. And there's a lot of scary things that people don't know about past retirement, which is something that I'm going to get into in future videos. And I do speak from experience with my mother and my current grandmother, who is having some health issues right now. And we are talking about putting her into a assisted living facility, and people don't really think about that sort of thing, but it's over $5,000 per month. So saving for retirement is something that's extremely important, and I will go over that in a future video. But I just wanted to get a couple of the questions out of the way and tell you a little bit of a ghost story in my house. So again, if you see any orbs, let me know, because I'm not seeing any orbs right now. And more than likely, because I'm talking about ghosts, they're probably not going to show up. But if they do, that's going to be fun. So let me know if you guys see any orbs. Also, there was another question. There's 2 questions that have the comments. I'm on the brink of disabling comments for 2 of my videos. One of them is a dollar meal. It's where I made spaghetti and my brother came over. And you guys know that I say my words wrong. I'm not great at speaking. However eloquent I come off to be, in these videos, I am not eloquent at all. I write wonderfully. I do not speak well. And I say words wrong sometimes, or I can't think of words. And I kept saying roast beef instead of ground beef. And every comment, every day, I've got at least 10 comments that say, didn't you mean ground beef? Yes, I meant ground beef for the millionth time. I think I replied to like 20 comments saying, yes, I meant ground beef, but I said roast beef, and I'm getting tired of those comments. Another one is on the $100 a year challenge. I believe it's like you can eat $100 a year if you're resourceful, and then everybody keeps asking me how it worked. Over and over and over and over and over again all day. And I answered the question in the comments. I also answered the question on this video. And if the comments continue, I'm going to have to disable it because it's taking up too much of my time just reading and deleting those comments or reading and replying to the comments. So it's driving me nuts. Might end up getting the comments disabled. But at this point, I'm hoping that all those people that asked that question are watching this video. All right, so this is a quick little change in pace just for this week. I'll get back to the money saving next week. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out.